There's a Native American parable that tells a short story about the so-called creator gathering all the animals together and saying, I want to hide something from humans until they are ready for it. It's the realization that they create their own reality. And the eagle said, give it to me, I will fly it to the moon. No, said the creator, one day soon they will go there and find it. How about the bottom of the ocean, asked the salmon. Oh no, they'll find it there too. I will bury it in the Great Plains, said the buffalo. Thanks for your input, said the creator, but no, they will soon dig and find it there. And then the wise grandmother mole spoke up and said, put it inside them. And the creator said, done. That's the last place they'll look. Now I know you might be thinking, nice story, but I've heard that 1,000 times already. Visualize what you want, law of attraction, and all that stuff. Well, that's not what this is about. And I know this is going to sound strange, perhaps even crazy, but the real key to the success you're after has to do with an egg. That's right, an egg. Now, why don't you just sit back and relax for a moment and hear me out, and I'll explain the whole story to you. Hey everybody, welcome to Crack Your Egg. And before we get started, I want to make clear that this is not going to be one of those series in which the person delivering the information is made more important than the information itself. Instead, this will be all about you and how you can use this information to overcome the greatest challenges in your life and your lack of results in achieving whatever it is that you're looking to accomplish. I've got no desire to put myself in the spotlight, and it's best if we just let the amazing things that you're about to learn in this series do the talking. You see, I know all about how so many people like you and me try all kinds of personal development programs, self-improvement techniques, law of attraction secrets, mind power hacks, and all that stuff. And they do the work and they try, but then time after time they bump into the same frustrations over and over again. One of the biggest frustrations is obviously a lack of results in what you're trying to accomplish. I mean, tell me honestly, how many times have you thought something like, I'm doing everything that I'm supposed to do, but for some reason it's just not happening for me? And another one of the biggies is the tremendous amount of confusion and indignation caused by the serious information overload that we can't help but bump into these days, as well as the false claims, the parroting of misunderstood half-truths, and the sometimes even purposely planted misinformation that we need to know how to dig through in order to get a glimpse of the authentic truths and effective instruction we're looking for. It's all typically presented as if it's something new, while it's often merely a reiteration of the same thing that's just wrapped in a slightly different package. I mean, let's be honest. We've literally run out of ways to say the same thing over and over again by now, right? We've got tons of law of attraction, manifestation courses, visualization programs, subliminal goal setting and positive thinking methods, brainwave entrainment, astral projection, tapping, humming, chanting, and whatever else is new this month. And beyond that, we've got rehashed versions of centuries-old books, secrets behind secrets, enigmas wrapped in riddles, single missing keys that they don't want us to know about, and on top of it all, a seemingly endless variety of mutually contradicting universal laws, master keys, and supposed secrets of the rich. It's all presented as if it's the holy grail of transformation, and the one missing secret to success and happiness in life, and so on. But there you are, watching this, probably still looking for your big breakthrough. So now that we've literally run out of ways to say the same thing over and over again, we've reached a point where we don't need to hear that sort of thing anymore, but just need to know how to take things to the next level. So that's what we're going to do in this training series. We're going to be really bold and forget about everything we've learned in the past, at least for a little while. We'll wipe out and clean the slate entirely, get rid of all our preconceived notions, and begin to learn what this next level is really all about. So the question is, what is it all about? What is the real core reason why we don't get what we truly want in our lives? What is the real core reason why we struggle in life? Why do some people's lives seem to flow seamlessly, effortlessly, with abundance in the form of friends, health, relationships, finances, time, emotional well-being, energy, vibrancy, productivity, creativity, business success, and so on surrounding them all the time, while others seem to constantly struggle and have the same type of problems come into their lives recurringly, day after day, month after month, year after year? Why is that? And what do we need to do to tap into the true inherent power inside of you that you know is there, that would allow you to truly change your life experience into what you know and what you feel in your heart is your true potential? Well, the answer, as you might have expected from the name and look of what you're watching now, is that it's about an egg. So then you'll probably ask, what are you, out of your mind? And I know it seems like a bit of a joke. And of course, I'm not trying to be derogatory about your challenges in life. and I'm certainly not talking about a literal egg. Instead, the egg I'm talking about is sort of a metaphor that I use to help you understand and appreciate what's going on with you, and what most people, including many of the well-known experts and gurus out there, seem to be missing, even though the impact of that so-called egg on you is very real. As a matter of fact, as you'll see as we move on in this training, the egg really is the crux, the success of any principle or technique you may decide to use in light of your personal development, spiritual growth, and attempts to manifest abundance and create your own destiny and all that stuff. You know, recently one person I've been in touch with described it perfectly. This here is Veronique, a very talented singer from South Africa. Here's what she sent me in an email a while ago. It's weird. I've always felt there's this strange energy that always seems to put up a block in whatever endeavor I seem to pursue. These words really struck me because they describe exactly the sort of thing that I'm talking about here. So let me give you a quick artist impression of this, which also helps you understand why I've symbolized this strange energy she mentioned as an egg. What you see here is a symbolic representation of what the egg is and what it does to you. In very short and simple terms, it's like a force field that you've cast around yourself, probably without you even being aware of it, that basically squeezes you and your potential inside its limited confines and keeps it there. And we're going to get into the details of how that happens in these video presentations. Again, simply put, that's the way in which this egg keeps you small in every possible way. And the worst thing is that unlike Veronique, who did feel this strange energy, most people aren't even aware of it to begin with. Now, if you compare that state to what it feels like when you crack your egg and break free, you'll have a pretty good idea of how the things that you're going to learn in these video presentations and books that I'm going to give you can absolutely transform your entire life experience. Problem is that I cannot explain to you what the egg is just by telling you. You can only appreciate it once you've consciously experienced it, because even though its impact on you can be absolutely huge, your egg is really a pretty subtle thing, and you need to understand how it operates in order to be able to take the steps to break free. In fact, to be honest, quite a few people need to actually become aware of their egg in the first place, because they simply don't realize it's there to begin with. And obviously, you cannot crack your egg if you're not aware of its existence. So that's what this series of video presentations and books will help you do. They're not just a bunch of ethereal ramblings, self-righteous impositions, pedantic platitudes, sugar-coated fluff, or reiterations of stuff you already know. But instead, they'll make you go through an entire transformative experience that lasts, and that might just turn out to be your most liberating experience ever. So what is this egg? Well, in simple terms, your egg is really the very thing that's keeping you small, and that's holding you back from getting what you really want out of life, no matter what you try. We all have an egg of our own, and we all have to crack it to be able to really live life on our own terms. The truth is that even though they never described it this way, all major personal development, self-improvement, spiritual growth, and manifestation programs out there are essentially aimed at helping you crack your egg. They just don't literally call it that. Unfortunately, since most of these methods aren't really based on a thorough understanding of the egg to begin with, they usually end up offering band-aid solutions without addressing the core problem, which is cracking and breaking through your egg altogether, not just drilling a couple holes in it or peeling back a layer of it. Without doing so, your egg is likely to sabotage all your efforts to break free, including the very actions and techniques that you learn in programs and courses you may have tried in the past. Because the kind of sabotage that your egg imposes is something you can only overcome with the right understanding of what the egg really is, what it does to you, how it does that, and why it can be so hard to crack it and break free. And as soon as you understand this, you've opened yourself up to the opportunity to both apply the things you've already learned in the past in an entirely new way, but also to discover a completely new approach to getting what you really want out of life. So that's what these materials will do for you. You're going to learn about a completely new focus and about new techniques and protocols that have a completely different orientation compared to what you've probably got used to. From there, you'll be able to apply these things to your own egg cracking process, all the way from the first step of becoming aware of your egg to the final step of cracking your egg and breaking free. So what I'm talking about here is blasting through this whole thing completely. And as soon as you do, you'll literally feel reborn. Now, if you've had some past experience in personal development, self-improvement, and all that stuff, then right now you'll probably think something along the lines of, I see what you're getting at. This probably has to do with letting go of limiting beliefs and overcoming my mind's negative programming and that sort of thing, right? Well, yes, it does, and we're definitely going to be covering that from our new angle. But it's worth realizing that cracking your egg goes far, far deeper than that, or at least far deeper than you're probably used to from what you've done in the past. That's why a few words don't suffice, and that's why I'm going to guide you through an entire training experience that will radically expand your understanding, and I'll do so by means of these video presentations, along with their associated ebooks and techniques. So let me give you a quick overview of what we're going to do. In the first video presentation, which is actually the one you're watching now, you'll learn more about what the egg is, as a first step to becoming aware of the fact that you're actually experiencing life from the perspective within this metaphorical egg of your own creation. And as I mentioned earlier, you got to be aware of your egg first if you ever want to crack it. So that's what we'll get into in the rest of this particular video presentation. Then, in the second video presentation that I'll send you in a couple of days, you'll learn more details of the kinds of things the egg does to you and how it does that. This is where you'll learn why and how the egg really is the reason for your lack of results in making real the dreams and visions you hold, and in manifesting your life's work, and so on, regardless of what you tried in the past, to overcome what you thought at the time were the things that are blocking you in that context. And after that, you'll discover the little known truth about why it can be so hard to actually crack your egg with today's prevailing methodologies, and how it's actually that same egg of yours that sabotages anything you're trying to accomplish, even your own efforts to crack it. Now, of course, that probably still sounds a bit elusive at this point, but don't worry, because you'll see it all coming together once we actually get to that stage, and you will experience the epiphanies you're looking for, I promise. So having fully grasped the core reason for your ongoing lack of results at this point, despite all the things you've tried so far and all the efforts you put in, you'll finally be at a point where you'll completely understand how your egg operates and how it tends to keep putting up blocks to whatever you try to achieve. And that understanding puts you in the position of power from where you can finally take the whole eggshell structure down, either by using methods you've already learned in the past in new ways and with readjusted focus and increased power, or by using the new methods, techniques, and protocols that you'll be able to learn from me, so you can finally start living life on your own terms and enter that ongoing state of flow that you're really after. So now that we're clear on the process of this training, let's not waste any more time, and let's get started with the real content of this video presentation, which is about becoming aware of your egg. First thing I want to show you is a quick metaphorical story that'll help you appreciate what the egg is, and so it'll also help you to become aware of it. Make sure that you watch this clip to the very end, because in a few moments I'm going to give you some additional gift materials, and I just know that you're going to be absolutely thrilled. Besides that, there's something in this clip that sets the stage for being successful with the things you'll learn in the upcoming video presentations. So let's see if you can find out what it is. Let's start watching, and after this clip I'll tell you all about it. You know, I had me a grandma who used to say, "God's happiest when his children are in play." And my grandma sure liked to play games. I remembered playing with her one game after another and laughing. Yeah, we had quite a bunch of laughs, the two of us. I also remember my tendency to get mad whenever I lost, and every time I got angry, all she'd do was laugh. It was such a genuine kind of laugh, you know? And then I couldn't help it just to laugh with her, in spite of my anger. I went on playing a lot of games in my life, particularly basketball, which became my game, at least for a while. I just loved to play it. And I would practice, almost like I was looking for something. And I was competitive. I wanted to win. But after a while in games and in practice, I would get caught up in my desire to win. I got high-strung, tense, thinking too much, playing the game in my head. Needless to say, that messed up my play. And the more I thought about it, the worse things got. I ended up on the bench as a substitute, which was difficult for me because I wanted to be important to my team. But in the misery I felt at the time, being a youngster who just wanted to play ball and win, I also found my greatest salvation. Because I got so far out of the game that winning was simply not an issue anymore. It no longer had importance. I realized that all that was really important to me was for me to play. So from that situation, I somehow just managed to drop my load off my shoulders, and I was able to relax and to enjoy myself whenever I got the chance to play. I was able to get out of my head, to let go and just play. And somehow, somewhere, in the concurrence of all that was going on and all that was about to take place, I found back my game. And indeed, I found back my own genuine, natural game. It's hard to describe it, but that game was not in my mind. That game was in my soul. I got in a state where my mind was free of clutter, and I would find myself going with the flow. In that state, I tell you, it's just you, the ball and the net. no thinking required, and absolutely nothing and no one who can stop you from making your plays. In that state, there's no one to lose from but yourself. In that state, you don't have to think about what your play will be. Sure enough, at any given moment, there will be a lot of plays to choose from, but there will only be one play that would be in perfect attunement with what was going on in the whole of the playing field. And that would be my play, my genuinely inspired play. I didn't have to consciously choose that play. I didn't have to think about it. I just had to allow it to manifest itself through me. I wouldn't have to make the ball go into the net. I had to allow it. Now that state is sometimes referred to as the zone. It feels like being in a gentle flow and in perfect attunement with the game, the everything that's going on and all that's about to take place around you. And you can keep going, rising to new peaks, because you feel like your energy is rising instead of falling. It's the most amazing feeling you'll ever have, in which everything just seems to fit together, and everything works out in the most amazing ways. And you reach your full potential naturally, without any sense of having to put in effort. That's the cadence of any game worth playing, just like the cadence of the game of life. Okay, so that was just a quick and simple story. But here's the first thing you need to pick up from this, because it sets the stage for success using the rest of the things that you're going to learn in the upcoming parts of this series. If you're a person that's into self-improvement and spiritual growth and unleashing your potential and all that stuff, then you're ultimately doing that because you want to manifest your desires in life and create the life of your dreams and that sort of thing, right? Now let me tell you something. Whatever you want to achieve in life, any goal you may have, you can't see that as some kind of struggle you need to overcome or something you need to put up a fight for to make it happen. You have to keep a gentle outlook on it, no attachment, and allow yourself to naturally flow towards it. You have to find that state of subtle flow where you're in perfect harmony with the game of life and where you're one with everything that is. You can't find that place with your mind. You've got to seek that place with your soul, a part of you that's more knowing than your brain is ever gonna be. Don't think about it. Feel it. Know it. The problem is most people see their desires and goals as some sort of monster they need to kill, as things they really need to fight and struggle for to turn them into reality. And as such, for all their lives, they haste toward an imaginary end of the line without even having an idea of what they'll find when they get there. This is the typical state of mind of the egg. It keeps you in a perpetual state of unhappiness and feeling small, and constantly needing to beat a monster, hoping that that will be the breakthrough you've been waiting for. In other words, you'll be forever in pursuit. Living in the egg is like living in a mental and emotional prison that leaves you in an almost permanent state of frustration with life and what you're trying to accomplish, which ironically you never actually manage to accomplish for that same reason. Because after each monster you may happen to beat, some other one will appear that you think you'll have to slay as well. So there will always be something, some new finish line you'll think you'll have to cross, and you'll be forever in pursuit of illusion after illusion. Truth is, that's not what the game of life is about, or how you get into that state of seamless flow where everything in life seems to work out for you and align itself to your intentions and course of action. And this is a mentality switch that you need to make first, before you can be successful in cracking your egg. The game of life is not to beat monsters and somehow cross an imaginary finish line and win. I mean, like the short story that you just saw illustrated, there's really nothing to actually win. The game of life is actually something different. So let me tell you what it is. The game of life is to appreciate the nature of the energy you play with. The game is to be fully human, to answer to the calling inside your most private heart that seeks more than a life of simply getting by, and to freely create what you really want. This is true for you and for each and every other person as well. You, me, and everyone else out there thrive by bringing alive their own personal brand of creative power in everything they do. You may not be aware of it yet, but you have that power within you. It's a powerful and passionate life force that comes from deep inside. It's a calling, a potentiality. It's naturally expansive, ineffable, unexplainable, and certainly enormously exciting once you reconnect with it. But here's the thing that I'm trying to explain. Even though we all have that creative power within us, most people don't know it and don't know how to connect with it. Because for most people, that power is locked up inside that egg we're talking about. Look, we've all had experiences in life where you had a desire, and in some unexplainable way, it felt like you got what you wanted almost effortlessly. Things just seemed aligned, and everything just seemed to fall into place. We've all felt that at some point and to some degree, so you know it's really an amazing feeling, and it's often referred to as being in the flow or in the zone. Once you crack your egg, you'll be able to naturally reconnect with that power and potential, and experience that freedom of playing with that energy, and of freely creating what you really want in life. Now, don't get me wrong, because that doesn't mean you'll get to hang around like a couch potato, staring at your vision board all day, visualizing and feeling good on command, waiting for a bag of money to fall out of the sky, or a big legacy check from some distant relative you've never even heard of to be delivered in your mail, as you're sometimes almost led to expect. That's just wishful thinking. If it would work like that, you'd never appreciate the true nature of your power, the energy you're playing with, and the true ways in which you shape your own reality by taking responsibility for your own life. You'd merely be waiting on some rescue that's unlikely to ever come. So you will actually have to take responsibility, do something, and actively engage in the process. However, the difference will be that you will be the person that you really want to be, that things will turn out to align for you to support you on whatever you want to achieve, that you actually will achieve the things that you're really longing for, and that you will be doing the things that come natural to you, and that you truly feel in your heart you were meant to be doing, without feeling the constant resistance of that strange energy that seems to put up a block to whatever you want to achieve in life. Once you crack your egg, you'll find that you'll just break out of the unconscious construct that's keeping you small. And as a natural byproduct of that, you'll find that you're no longer afraid, doubtful, or uncertain, and that you no longer get caught up in the annoyances of life, in emotional turmoil, in the drama of others, in financial issues, or other common concerns that tend to arise in life. You'll see these things for what they really are, and any grip they might have had on you loosens and disappears. That's when life becomes a truly amazing experience. You'll no longer be in constant pursuit of something, you'll already be there. And from there, you'll be able to naturally flow to wherever you want to be next. And that's the state this series of video presentations will guide you towards. Now I'm going to wrap up this particular video, but I want to give you some additional materials to get yourself ready for the next step. You see, like I said earlier, for most people their egg is a completely unconscious thing. They're not even aware of it, so they don't even know why their lives are such a struggle. To them, it's just a complete mystery, and they feel like they're just plain unlucky. Then there's also a significantly smaller group of people who are aware of their egg to an extent, like Veronique earlier in this video, who described the egg as a strange energy that always seems to put up a block in whatever endeavor I seem to pursue. These people feel this strange energy, but they don't know how to take it down. Nothing they try, and none of the self-help techniques and methods they use seem to help, with the exception of some occasional minor results at best. The problem is, as you're going to learn in the upcoming parts of this series, that the egg is not just this force field that keeps you small and keeps your naturally expansive potential locked up. But in addition to that, it also has a way of filtering your perception, including the impact of the impulses you give yourself by using all kinds of self-help techniques. In other words, your egg can even sabotage your own very attempts to crack it. Now, don't get me wrong, because I'm not saying at all that all those techniques and methods out there are useless, because they're not. It's just that your egg has this way of blocking their effect. And that's why if you're not aware of your egg's method of operation, you're often just winging it with these methods, applying them in some random, let's hope I get lucky way, and usually end up wasting your time and money that way, which in turn leads to more frustration because of your lack of results, which then in turn, unfortunately, further reinforces the power of your egg. Whereas if you do know the ins and outs of your eggshell structure and the way it operates and tries to keep itself intact, you'll know exactly how to bypass that sort of filtering and sabotage, so that the new techniques that I have for you, as well as the techniques that you're already familiar with because you learned them in the past, or others that you may still learn in the future, will in fact be effective and yield far more and far better results than you've experienced so far. And the details of that are what we're going to cover as we progress in our training together. So to set the stage for all that, I put together some more materials for you that you can study and practice to get ready for the next step that I'll send you in a few days. First of all, underneath this video you'll see a link to an ebook that will not only give you more details of what we've been covering so far in this video, but it'll also go much deeper into how you can put yourself in a far more powerful position to become aware of your egg, recognize it, and then of course crack it. You'll learn a simple technique to step beyond anything that inhibits you, and you'll learn where to look to reconnect with your true life force, which allows you to rediscover the brilliance, the genius, the captivating and captivated soul that's really there inside of you, that your egg may have blinded and screened you from. What you'll learn in this book will literally blow your mind. It's yours to have, so as soon as this video is over, right-click on the link for it that you see below, save it to your computer, and read it right away. Also, if you've enjoyed this so far and know other people that might benefit from this as well, please take a moment to share this with them through Facebook or Twitter or email or any other method that comes to mind. You'll see some widgets on the page here that can make it easy for you to do so. And finally, please take a moment to leave a comment below to share with me and others what you learned and picked up so far, both from this presentation and the ebook that comes with it. And then, in a couple of days, I'll be back with more video presentations and materials, in which you'll learn some very insightful details of what your egg does to you and how you can crack it to break free. Just so you know, I can tell you right now that what you're going to learn will blow your mind like nothing else did before. But that's for next time. So thanks for watching so far. Don't forget to share and leave a comment, and I'll see you next time.